You can't handle the truth.
The Naked Truth.
It's music, fame, sex, truth. The Naked Truth. 1 hour, one artist, the music you know, brand new songs, and a look into the hearts and heads of your favorite musicians. The Naked Truth.
This is Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth.
Hi, we're Barenaked Ladies.
You are listening to The Naked Truth. If you touch that dial, I will slap you.
They're a band of comedic Canadians who have carved out a place of their own in pop music. The Barenaked Ladies' wit and infectious hooks blew in from Toronto, Canada when grunge ruled radio. They arrived with a fanatical fan base, but radio hits like One Week and Pinch Me made the ladies hot. Teenage buddies Stephen Page and Ed Robinson formed the ladies in 1988. Before they knew it, the duo was bare naked in front of thousands, along with Jim Cregan on bass, Tyler Stewart on drums, and Kevin Hearn on keyboards. Over their 15-year career, they've wandered freely from pop charts to kids' songs to a musical makeover of Shakespeare's As You Like It. Their latest release is Bare Naked for the Holidays, a collection of 20 Christmas classics which promises to bring bare naked cheer to the holidays. The wise-ass ladies bared all to the Naked Truth's Jen Myers.
All right, let's start with the single most important thing affecting your band right now. Hockey being back.
That's the single most important thing affecting our drummer right now.
Well, you see, I came into camp about 50 pounds overweight, and now I'm 60 pounds overweight. Camp didn't help.
Well, they serve chicken wings at camp.
Yeah, exactly. And so Keith Kachuk and I have been hanging out, eating chicken wings and trying to get in shape for the season. But yes, it's very exciting that the NHL is back. I have some spare time, and now rather than spending it with my children, I sit in front of the television.
Well, The Naked Truth is all about firsts and how you got to be who you are. So I want to start with the musical first. Ed, your first album that you ever bought.
It was Kenny Rogers' The Gambler.
You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up.
I bought it at Zounds Record Shop, a short walk from my childhood home, and I believe it was $4.98 for the LP, and I saved up a bunch of probably bottle refund money and change that was lying around, and I marched in and bought The Gambler.
The first record I ever bought was a cassette of Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles, and I was absolutely enthralled with it, and I was 5 years old.
The first record I ever bought, the first single I ever bought was Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees. So I guess I would have been about 7. But the first album I ever bought with my own money was Get the Knack in 1979, because I love Good Girls Don't. It's still one of my favorite albums.
Even more than My Sharona?
Oh yeah, Good Girls Don't is way better than My Sharona, I think.
Tyler, what was the first concert you ever went to?
First concert, I went to see Jethro Tull with my friend Steve Pitkin and my dad. And some guy asked my dad if he had any hash, and he said no, and turned to me and my 13-year-old friend and said, "You guys got any hash?" And we said no, even though we had a big chunk.
What was the first concert you went to, Stephen?
The first concert that I went to where I said, I want to go to the show was Queen, with Billy Squier opening in, I think, 1981 or 2. So it was a pretty good first concert.
Ed, what was the first concert you ever went to?
The first concert I begged my parents to buy tickets for me for, and they wouldn't let me go alone. My older brother had to take me, and we went to see Rush.
Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
On the Signals tour.
Nice.
And my older brother did have some hash with him. So I don't know if it was the best idea to send me with him.
What was the first big purchase you made after you made it as a band?
Big chunk of hash. Sorry, we're not a drug band, but it's just,
It's just funny.
It's just funny.
Anybody else make a big purchase?
I got a car, man. I blew the bank and paid cash for a 1993 Ford Escort hatchback.
Growing up in Buffalo, New York, I heard you on Toronto radio stations long before you hit it big in the States with One Week. That song introduced you to tons of new fans. How did that song come about?
It was actually it was a mail order song thing that I came across. I believe it was 1995, and you had to give them a bunch of nouns, pronouns, and verbs, and mail them away. And
It was in the back of that Parade magazine that comes with the newspaper on Sunday.
Yeah, and so I sent that away, and what I got back was totally inappropriate, and it didn't work at all. So I was forced to, at the last minute, choke the lyrics out of a tiny Greek farmer who lives in my neighborhood. And he knows many English words but doesn't speak English. And those are the words.
A Greek word?
It's not.
But I remember you came over to my house with the verses and then said, I want to do like a rap kind of thing. And we sat there and tried to write a rap, and it wasn't working. It just seemed too contrived. So I said, why don't you go home and just do what we do on stage, which is we do these improvs on stage all the time. Let's do that. Just come up with a bunch of those and we'll select a bunch. And that night he sent me a copy of it through email, I guess, and I started just reading the lyrics, and I read it and went, yep, that's it, it's done. It was great.
I set a camera in front of myself and pressed record, and I improvised the song. It originally had a couple extra verses, but they were stupider even than what is in the song.
What were the extra verses?
Like Andrew Lloyd, I got a big show. Mine's about a backhoe. There'll be a big sound from the pavement. Like
Skywalker got a mad hunch.
Hey, that's my lunch.
Yoda's a really, really old guy.
Yeah. So there were just some extra. But yeah.
I don't think I've told you this before, but my kids have Stunt in their bedroom at our country place on their little radio. So I press start and I say, knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's Ben.
Ben who?
No, you just have to say, it's Ben who? And I go, and it goes, it's been 1 week.
Oh, very good.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get back together, come back and see me. 3 days since the living room. I realized it's all my fault, but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry.
Hold it now, I want to hoodwink. Does it make you stop think? You'll think you're looking at Aquaman. I summon fish to the dish, although I like the chalet Swiss, I like the sushi, cause it's never touch a frying pan. Hot like wasabi when I bust rhymes. Big like Leanne rhymes, because I'm all about value. Bert Camper's got the mad hits. You try to match wits, you try to hold me but I bust through. Gonna make a break and take a pick out like a sink and they can shake out like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors. Gonna see the show cause then you'll know the vertigo is gonna go cause it's so dangerous you'll have to sign a waiver. Can't I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean, well you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Threw your arms in the air and said you're crazy. 5 days since you tackled me. I still got the red burns on both my knees. It's been 3 days since the afternoon. You realize it's not my fault, but a moment too soon. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, and now I'll sit back and wait till you say you're sorry.
China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on, with all our maisons. I hope the smoking man's in this one like Harrison Ford. I'm getting frantic, like Sting I'm tantric, like Snickers guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have a samurai. Gonna get a set of better clubs, gonna find the kind with tiny nubs. So my irons are always flying off the backswing. Gonna get into my Sailor Moon, cause that cartoonist got the boom anime babes that make me think the wrong thing.
How can I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean, you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of losing my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Dropped your arms to the sides and said I'm sorry. 5 days since I laughed at you and said you just did just what I thought you were gonna do. 3 days since the living room. We realized we're both to blame, but what could we do? Yesterday you just smiled at me, cause it'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. It'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. It'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry. Push my stadium home under the Robbie.
You're listening to Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth.
The Naked Truth.
In 2004, the ladies released Barenaked for the holidays. They liked it so much, they're releasing it again this year.
What motivated you to put together a whole holiday album?
Someone held a gun to our head, and that man was Santa.
You better make a record for me.
Nobody makes a record for me anymore.
Barenaked for the Holidays came out last year, but you guys are re-releasing it this year. Do you just want people to buy it every year? Like, are you going to set it up next to the eggnog in the grocery store?
Yeah, great idea.
That'd be
Thanks, Jen.
fantastic.
Well, a lot of people have started celebrating Christmas because of it.
Yeah.
It's a fairly new holiday in North America, and as we were suggesting before, we're thinking about making Christmas a once-a-month occurrence.
The record has a whole bunch of original songs, which is kind of unique for a rock and roll Christmas record. We didn't just go in and rehash a bunch of Christmas classics. If we took the Christmas classics, we put them on a train and drove it off the rails. But it's full of original stuff, and I think that's what's fun about the record.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. Batmobile lost its wheel and Joker got away.
To this day, your version of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen with Sarah McLachlan is one of the most requested holiday songs.
You know what's funny is we completely re-recorded that track for this record, and Sarah agreed to re-sing it, and we did this really awesome studio version of it, because the version that everybody was familiar with was recorded on a single mic on a DAT machine in a dressing room in Detroit, and it's sonically not very happening. It certainly has a magic to it, but we thought, let's do like a new version of it that sounds really great, and Sarah agreed to sing on it. And we had some trouble with the schedule getting Sarah the tracks, and because she was starting her tour, and we had the discussion. Finally, we went, you know what? No matter how good this new version is, everyone will hate it, and they just want to hear the original.
Yeah, they want the one they hear on the radio.
So after much deliberation and consternation, we just put the version that everybody was familiar with on the record.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born upon this day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. From God our Heavenly Father, this blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
Born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I bring to crown him again. Hallelujah, hallelujah, worship him, God most high. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. God rest ye merry gentlemen, God rest ye merry gentlemen, God rest ye merry gentlemen, God rest ye dismay, God rest ye merry gentlemen, God rest ye dismay, God rest ye merry gentlemen, God rest ye dismay.
You're listening to Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth.
The Naked Truth.
One of the things about Barenaked Ladies songs is that they have staying power. When you first hear them, they might seem kind of kitschy and fun, but they tap into something that is also lasting. One of those songs is Old Apartment. What was the process of writing that song?
That song was started as kind of a ballad. I had imagined it being like, I think the song I was thinking about was Back to the Old House by the Smiths.
I would love to go back to the old house.
As kind of a response to that. And I played it for Ed, and he said, "What if we did this as like an up-tempo rock song?" And I kind of thought, "Is he making fun of me?" And then but he did it, and I said, "Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense." And as soon as we did that, we had a structure to write the song around. The song was written fairly easily. And then our favorite story about it is we recorded it. It was a fairly low time for the band. Our keyboard player, Jim's brother, Andy, had left the band. We were in the studio. We weren't quite as popular as we had been in the previous few years, and so there was some strife and soul-searching and so on. We went out there into this warehouse studio in Toronto and did the take and listened back, and all realized it was very good. And Tyler did a very triumphant dance where he was pointing at the skyline of Toronto.
Dancing at Toronto, as if to say, "You see? We back in this."
Take that, Toronto.
That's right, you naysayers. Look. And he was right. He was right.
Broke into the old apartment. This is where we used to live. Broken glass, broken hungry, broken hearts and broken bones. This is where we used to live. Why did you paint the walls? Why did you clean the floor? Why did you plaster over the hole I punched in the door? This is where we used to live. Why did you keep the mousetrap? Why did you keep the dish rack? These things used to be mine. I guess they still are. I want them back. Broke into the old apartment, 42 stairs from the street. Crooked landing, crooked landlord, narrow laneway filled with crooks. This is where we used to live. Why did they pave the lawn? Why did they change the law? Why did I have to break it? I only came here to talk. This is where we used to live. How is the neighbor downstairs? How is her temper this year? I turned up your TV and stomped on the floor just for fun. Live here anymore. We bought an old house on the Danforth. She loves me and her body keeps me warm. And I am happy here. This is where we used to live. Broke into the old apartment. Tore the phone out of the wall. Lonely memories, fading memories, blending into total tableau. I want them back. I want them back. This is where we used to live. I want them back. This is where we used to live.
Next on Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth, a lady loses his cool.
Stop throwing your headphones.
Ed's left. You really pissed him off, that question, Jen.
When The Naked Truth continues. This is Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth.
The Naked Truth.
The Barenaked Ladies got their start just out of high school, recording in their basement and playing wherever and whenever they could. Always more interested in making someone laugh than making a statement, the ladies' live shows have become festivals of fun. On stage, the band is fearless of failure. They take audiences on an unpredictable ride to wherever the moment moves them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they end up with a new song. the ladies revealed the bare naked truth to Jen Myers.
You mentioned earlier that when you sat down to write 1 week, it didn't really work. Only when you let go and improvised were you able to finish it. Improv and riffing on an idea is a big part of your live shows. Are there other songs that you've improvised on stage and then later released?
Well, we're going to release one we improv recently called Cheryl Teagues. That's going out to our fan club, I think, and it's going to be on this USB stick that we're putting out.
Yeah, we're doing a little USB memory stick that's got the Christmas album and a bunch of improv stuff and a bunch of live hits and so on and some video footage. But we listened back to a bunch of these improvs, and some of them, like this Cheryl Teagues one, are spectacular.
It sounded like it was a song that we had written, and it's just so ridiculous.
It sounds like a real song.
How did the chorus go again?
Cheryl Teagues is really, really, really cool, yeah. Cheryl Teagues. It's sort of like that.
Yeah, and then
he had to be there.
Well, if you get the USB stick,
it's
will
like
be
you're there. It's like you're there.
We've released a few of them like that, like the there was this one called Bird Poop that was on. We put out a fan club CD that was an amazing song that we did once in New Jersey.
I'd walk a mile for a camel. 2 miles
Miles for an 8. Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm often curious when a band writes a song that becomes a big hit to know if they thought it was a hit when they were working on it. Did you know Pinch Me would be a hit?
I did, but strangely, I knew it when we wrote If I Had $1 Million.
Right. When we write Pinch Me, it's going to be a big hit.
Yeah, I said that to Steve. I didn't tell him about $1 Million at the time, but I said, just wait till we write Pinch Me. That one's going to be huge.
Yeah. Oh, Ed, you forgot Lloyd Elwyn Kreskin Robertson.
That's right.
See, I was rooting for Punch Me, which would be the big hit, and that hasn't even come out yet.
Pinch Me, actually, we were really hesitant about. I think we all really liked it, and I really enjoyed writing it.
It's one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite lyrics that we've done.
Yeah, and I think we were all really proud of it. And then when we made the record company instantly jumped on it, like, well, that's the single. And we were nervous that they wanted it to be the single just because it kind of had some of the fast, rappy kind of stuff that 1 Week had, and we thought they were just going for, it sounds sort of like 1 Week, so let's go with that. And we thought they were kind of ignoring what the song really was. And, they probably were.
But thankfully it was a success anyways.
Yeah.
It's the perfect time of year. Somewhere far away from here. I feel fine enough, I guess. Considering everything's a mess. There's a restaurant down the street where hungry people like to eat. I could walk, but I'll just drive. It's colder than it looks outside. It's like a dream you try to remember, but it's gone. Then you try to scream, but it only comes out as a yawn when you try to see the one beyond your front door. Take your time, so way I'm gonna make you smile when you realize that a guy by side might take a while just to try to figure out what all this is for. It's the perfect time of day to throw all your cares away. Put the sprinkler on the lawn and run through with my gym shorts on. Take a drink right from the hose and change into some drier clothes. Climb the stairs up to my room. Sleep away the afternoon. It's like a dream you try to remember, but it's gone. Then you're trying to scream, but it only comes out as a yawn when you're trying to see the world beyond your front door. Take your time, so way I'm gonna make you smile when you realize that a guy by side might take a while just to try to figure out what all this is for. Pinch me, 'cause I'm still asleep. Please, God, tell me that I'm still asleep. On an evening such as this, it's hard to tell if I exist. If I pack the car and leave this town, who'll notice that I'm not around? I could hide out under there. I just made you say underwear. I could leave, but I'll just stay. All my stuff's here anyway. Like a genie trying to remember but it's gone. Then you try to scream but it only comes out as a yawn. When you try to see the world beyond your front door. Take your time so way out, I'm gonna make you smile. When you realize it can't last, it might take a while just to try to figure out what all this is for. Try to figure out what all this is for. Try to see the world beyond your front door. Try to figure out what all this is for.
This is Barenaked Ladies, the naked truth.
A minute ago, you mentioned If I Had $1 Million. It's one of the first songs that Stephen and Ed wrote together, and you've played it at almost every live show you've ever done. What did you think about it when you first wrote it? Did you think it would be as big as it was?
Stop throwing your headphones.
Ed's left. You really pissed him off that question, Jen.
You ever seen the Bee Gees being interviewed about Staying Alive?
Yeah, and he whipped his headphones
He pulled
off.
a Robin Gibb.
Yeah, no, I just dropped them.
That song, it's funny. It was one of the first songs that Ed and I ever wrote together.
I knew it was
years
going to
ago.
be a hit, but I didn't tell Steve.
Really?
Yeah.
He knew it was going to be a hit, but then we've always fought. We've kind of always fought its release as a single.
Yeah.
It's always been for years was a thorn in our side. It was a big part of our live set, but it was never really a single. It wasn't a single off our indie tape, and it wasn't a single off Gordon. Although it's just one of those songs that people got to know, and radio stations would pick it up and start playing it. We had a guy at a record company, Reprise in the U.S., who always just begged us to make $1 Million a single. And then we had a live album. Finally, there was an opportunity for him to make it a single, and we still wouldn't let him do it. And then every time we released an album in the UK, they'd tack $1 Million onto the end of it. It just seems to be one of those things that everybody knows. In Canada, the CBC had 50 greatest Canadian songs of all time last year vote, and it ended up shockingly at number 2. I figured if it made it in the top 50, it'd be about 47, and it was number 2 because it is kind of turned into just like a campfire song. Everybody knows it, and it's hard not to be proud of that. But I'm still not. I'm still not.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a house.
I would buy you a house.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
buy you furniture for your house.
maybe a nice Chesterfield or an ottoman.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a K car.
a nice Reliant automobile.
And if I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million,
I'd build a tree fort in our yard.
if I had $1 million,
You could help, it wouldn't be that hard.
if I had $1 million,
Maybe we can put like a little tiny fridge in there somewhere.
we could just go up there and hang out.
Like open the fridge and stuff, and there'll always be foods laid out for us with little pre-wrapped sausages and things. They have pre-wrapped sausages, but they don't have pre-wrapped bacon.
Well, can you blame them?
Yeah.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a fur coat.
but not a real fur coat, that's cruel.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you an exotic pet. Yep.
like a llama or an emu.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd Bayou John Merrick's remains.
Ooh, all them crazy elephant bones.
And if I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million,
we wouldn't have to walk to the store.
If I had $1 million,
now we'd take a limousine 'cause it costs more.
If I had $1 million,
we wouldn't have to eat Kraft dinner.
but we would eat Kraft dinner.
Of course we would. We just eat more.
And buy really expensive ketchups with it.
That's right. All the fanciest Dijon ketchup.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a green dress.
but not a real green dress. That's cruel.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you some art.
a Picasso or a Garfunkel.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a monkey.
haven't you always wanted a monkey?
If I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million,
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 I'd be rich.
Next, Beach Boy Brian Wilson crashes a Barenaked studio session and rearranges the ladies.
He proceeded to play us his version of our song. It was actually him singing Brian Wilson that he recorded for his live album. We've kind of started doing his version of our song now in our set. We've kind of changed the harmonies to match the way he does it for the introduction.
When the Naked Truth returns.
You can't handle the truth.
The Naked Truth. It's music, fame, sex, truth. The Naked Truth. 1 hour, one artist, the music you know, brand new songs, and a look into the hearts and heads of your favorite musicians. The Naked Truth.
Hi, we're Barenaked Ladies. You are listening to The Naked Truth.
The Barenaked Truth.
The Naked Truth.
The Barenaked.
No, we're Barenaked Ladies. This is just The Naked Truth.
I'm sorry.
In 1991, Barenaked Ladies released The Yellow Tape, a self-made album that critics dissed but fans loved. It's the first and only indie release to reach gold status in Canada. Ever since, the band has blazed their own quirky trail. The Naked Truth's Jen Myers caught the ladies bare naked.
Stephen, when you were just getting started, you wrote Brian Wilson sitting in your parents' basement. In a way, it pays tribute to him, but it's also about one of the hardest periods in his life when he's essentially bedridden, suffering from crippling depression. Critics have called it horribly misguided, painfully provincial. But has Brian Wilson ever said anything to you about the song?
When we were recording Maroon in 2000, he came by the studio. Don was producing our album, and Don had made a record in a documentary film with Brian a few years before that. So he brought Brian into the studio, and we played him some of the stuff that we were working on, and then he proceeded to play us his version of our song. It was actually him singing Brian Wilson that he recorded for his live album, and then said, "Is that cool, guys?" I said, "Yeah, that's cool." And then I went to see him play live, and he started the show with Brian Wilson, which was very exciting and shocking. So
wow.
It doesn't get any cooler than that, really. We've kind of started doing his version of our song now in our set. We've kind of changed the harmonies to match the way he does it for the introduction.
How does his version sound?
It's a little more Beach Boysy, I think.
Yeah. I'm lying in bed. Is that where it is?
Something like that. Yeah.
Lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did.
Drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night record shop.
Call it imposer, call it composer, call it insane. But when I'm surrounded, I just can't stop. It's a matter of instinct, it's a matter of conditioning, and a matter of fact. You can go where Pavlov's dog. Ring a bell and I'll salivate. How'd you like that? Dr. Landon, tell me you're not just a pedagogue. 'Cause right now I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did.
You're listening to Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth.
The Naked Truth.
Tyler, as a band, you guys have been together for more than 15 years. When did you first feel like this was a career?
It's funny, I think the minute I spent a lot of time in a van with these guys, for months on end, I thought this is real. And then when I got paid, $11 after a gig, I thought this is a career. Yeah, well, we've been doing it now for 15 years, or 15 years plus, and to spend that much time, doing something that you love and to be paid well for it. I mean, I can't think of a better career. Except for a National Hockey League star. He shoots, he scores, Tyler Stewart! Or owning a candy store.
He eats.
Scores, Tyler Stewart. Score bar, Tyler Stewart.
Steven, you guys are writing material for a new album right now. What is it starting to sound like?
It's so hard to tell what an album's going to sound like. But people ask that question a lot. I think one of the things about being in Barenaked Ladies is our records are so varied stylistically, and there may be a Latin song and a country song and a hard rock song and so on, all in the same record.
Now, you're going out on the road this fall and this winter. Does that help you decide what goes on the album? Testing songs out?
Yeah, we're not under the gun for a hard deadline, too, with this record, and we sort of have a comfortable spot where we can record at Steve's farm, and it's pretty relaxed, and we're just going to try all these songs, and I'm sure it'll become clear as we do it.
Junior's farm wasn't available, or Maggie's farm.
I'm not going to work there anymore.
No? Why not?
No way.
Too many clown faces.
And your new album, do you have a timeline on when you expect it to come out?
I bet you it'll be next fall.
Yeah.
Next September or something like that. That's what we're looking at now. But it's hard to say that when the record hasn't even been recorded yet.
Yeah. No, it's easy to say. It just may be hard to keep to.
It's hard to say it truthfully.
Yes.
It's hard to say we're sorry.
Sorry seems to be the hardest word.
Hard to say what it is I see in you. Wonder if I'll always be with you. Urgency, I didn't do everything all for you.
Is that good, sister?
That's great.
Goodbye.
Next on Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth. A bad mix of oysters, turtles, and eggnog turns Christmas morning into a yak fest for one of the ladies.
In my stomach was eggnog, oysters, and nuts and caramel in the form of turtles. It didn't like it. I didn't even get a chance to enjoy my new hi-hat cymbals and that I received for Christmas because I was over the big bass drum known as the toilet.
When The Naked Truth returns. You're listening to Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth.
The Naked Truth.
The ladies have never played by traditional rules. In addition to their 6 studio albums, they've experimented with new ways to get their music in the hands of their fans. They've released tracks on compilations, music and video on USB sticks, and now they record nearly every concert and make it available for download on their website. Their latest offering is Barenaked for the Holidays, a soundtrack for happy times and other unforgettable moments.
Tyler, what's your favorite holiday memory?
This is kind of a painful one as well because I did some bad food combining during the holidays. I'm a big fan of the aforementioned by you eggnog, and I like to drink it at holiday time. My mom also opened up a tin of smoked oysters, and I had a few, or like 9 of them. And then I got a box of turtles under the tree, and I ate some turtles. The chocolatey concoction with nuts and caramel. So in my stomach was eggnog, oysters, and nuts and caramel in the form of turtles. It didn't like it, and didn't like it then, didn't like it now. And I spent the entire day iller than ill, and that's
iller than Mike D.
Yeah, indeed. That's it. My Christmas memory from Christmas when I was 15, so that would be 1982. I didn't even get a chance to enjoy my new hi-hat cymbals and that I received for Christmas because I was over the big bass drum known as the toilet.
Gotta go to the big bass drum.
Stephen, what about your favorite or least favorite holiday memory?
Went downstairs to open the presents, and we opened presents and opened our stockings and stuff, and then went upstairs to have breakfast. And as we're eating, we thought, God, it really smells smoky. That we had got in the last couple of years got one of those, Franklin wood burning stoves in our basement. Well, the flue had frozen shut, just a wall of ice inside there, and so our entire basement and all our presents and everything else were just smoked out. So we spent Christmas morning standing on the driveway in our pajamas. But luckily,
barbecue Christmas.
Well, Tyler's mother brought the oysters over and smoked the oysters for Tyler to eat.
And Ed, what about you? What about your Christmas or your holiday memories, good and bad?
My siblings and I pitched in together and bought my mom a gold ring that had all of our birthstones in it, and she was so proud of it and so overwhelmed, and she wanted to get a picture with all the kids in front of the Christmas tree, and she had put the ring proudly displayed on her middle finger, and for the picture with all her kids in front of the Christmas tree, held her hand out and stuck up her middle finger to show off her ring, not realizing that she was giving the finger in the photo. She was trying to show off the ring, so this sweet picture that was meant to display her new birthstone ring is my mom smiling and giving the finger in front of the Christmas tree with all her kids. So that's one of my favorite family memories.
Well, Barenaked Christmas is out now, a fun collection of Christmas songs done Barenaked style. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Jen.
You can't imagine so many monkeys in the Daily Mail, and all of them coming anonymously so they leave no trail. Never thought I'd have an admirer from overseas, but someone is sending me stationery filled with chimpanzees. Some chimps in swimsuits, some chimps are swinging from a vine, some chimps in jackboots, some chimps that wish they could be my Starsky and Hutch chimps. A chimp who's sitting on the can, a pair of Dutch chimps who send them up from Amsterdam.
Another postcard with chimpanzees, and everyone is dressed to me. Another postcard with chimpanzees, and everyone is dressed to me. Another postcard with chimpanzees.
been listening to Barenaked Ladies, The Naked Truth. Executive producers Rob Barnett and Paul Gallagher. Hosted by Jen Myers. Produced by Barry Funkhauser. Special thanks to Chris Olivero, Al Dukes, Kevin Robinson, Mike Waldman, Ray Klein, David Goodman, Jonathan Azu, and Rich Berner. This has been a production of Infinity Original Programming. Thanks for listening to The Naked Truth.